What's up, YouTube? And back again. And basically, last weekend we had another regionals in Anaheim. It brought about 505 competitors, something about that nature. They give out another 48 invites this time. Again, I topped it. As we all know, priority has left the game. Priority on ignition effects, turn player priority, basically. And so everyone thought Rabbit was going to be bad or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So we've gotten past that, everything. So now I've gotten my invite with Rabbit without priority. And honestly, in all 9 rounds of Swiss, I got Veilered once, and I had back row to support it. Rabbit went off the next turn. Veiler, honestly, I don't really think is that big of a deal against this deck. It's all it is, just a -1. And if they can protect it, the Rabbit's going to go off regardless. So, that being said, I really do feel like this deck is very strong. It's my favorite deck right now. It's the deck I feel most comfortable with. I've been playing with the Chaos Dragon deck. I played a little bit of Dark World. We had Dark World and Dragons built. That's the decks I've been floating around with. But Rabbit, I always fall back on. Like, I feel safest with that deck. It has a lot more outs and options, in my opinion. And it just fits my playstyle. Like, Dragons is really aggro. I don't like that. I don't like how you have to go all out. And even with Macro Rabbit, like, some people were doing that. I don't want to do Macro Rabbit because, again, like, you don't run Avarice in it. You run out of steam. You have to basically just play aggro with Rabbit, and I don't like that. I don't think Rabbit's meant to be played like that. It's supposed to be like a just really conservative game, like 1-for-1s, and just really grinding your opponent down is basically what it is. You're not supposed to just bum rush them. It's not supposed to be like that. At least it's not this version. So anyways, we're going to the build. Triple Cobazol, triple Sabersaurus, triple Rabbit, obviously, triple Guaiba, Gores, triple Torga, and Sangan. That was the monster count for the day. I mean, obviously, as you guys see, I wasn't running Veiler. I was thinking about the last regional I went to, and because I was just really trying to fit everything in there, and I wasn't trying to go over 40. Especially, I was like, okay, 41's not that big of a deal, but I didn't want to go over 40, so I tried to keep it under that. Or I didn't want to go for 41, excuse me. And like, I just couldn't fit in the Veilers, and like, my whole reasoning behind it, I was like, oh, well, the last regionals I topped at, I didn't run any Veilers main, I just made Max C's, and I only lost to 1 Insector, and blah, 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 blah. Actually, I lost to 2, but anyways, so yeah, I don't even know if that's true. I knew I lost to 1 Insector for sure, but anyways, so yeah, I didn't main Veilers. I mean, there wasn't a point where I was necessarily wanting a Veiler, but I mean, I'm pretty sure it would have been nice. Gores was more dead than anything. Last round, 9th round against Dark World, I forgot to side him out. I had macro up, and like, the only monster in my hand was a Gores, and I mean, I won the game, but like, the fact that Gores was in my hand was kind of irritating because it could have been a playable monster. He could have got some time because I couldn't activate summon a monster and start poking. He could have found a window somehow, and that was really bad. So I don't know about Gores right now. This is a little bit different than how my deck. I'm still trying to work on this deck right now. This is just the build I went with the regionals. So there's a monster count. We're on to spells. I mean, it's pretty simple. Dark Hole, Heavy, Reborn, Avarice, Book, triple MST, so it always goes through, like, so you can get your plays through, and like, a lot of continuous spells and traps to get annoying. And then 3 Lances. Because of the sheer fact of running Guaiba, I think Lance is just so necessary, and it like just protects your monsters. Like, if you have Dolka and you have a Lance, like, you're pretty golden. You shouldn't have anything to worry about. And Logia just helps keep your negation, so your Logia stays alive longer, and is doing more work and putting more pressure on your opponent and making them waste resources and stuff. So spells haven't changed at all. For the traps, we got 1 Judgment, 2 Warnings, 2 Torrentials, 2 Bottomless, 2 Deep Prisons, 2 Fiendish, and 2 Compulse. Okay, so the Bottomless and the Deep Prisons were added in because I just felt like Dragons were going to be everywhere. The Tour Guide reprint was out. I mean, Dragons are a really powerful deck. I like it better than Insectors. But in the end of the day, I played 4 Insectors, I played 2 Chaos Dragons, I played 1 Mirror Match, 1 Gadget Stun, 1 Dark World. I think that's it. And yeah, like, I mean, Bottomless is very subpar against Insectors unless you have like a Bottomless and MST. They go Dragonfly, MST that Hornet, they bring out Dragonfly, or they bring out Centipede, you Bottomless Centipede. But even then, it's still not that great. But when I was playing Chaos Dragons, it was nice. D-Prison was really good that weekend. Once Macro's up, I totally feel like if you're going to side in Macro against Insectors, you should side in D-Prison, because your D-Prison start turning into +1s, because they can still equip under Macro, they just can't unequip. So when they start attacking with their beat sticks, with their equipped spells and their equipped monsters like Gigamantis and stuff, like I had a Hornet attack one of my monsters with a Gigamantis attached to it. I just D-Prison and +1'd off him. It it was just so good. Like D Prison was so good. I went X and 2 again. I lost round 1, which really hurt because the guy I lost to, like, he was a good player, but he didn't do that well. Like, he didn't even top, so like his record kind of messed up mine and just made things a little jacked up. And then I lost to like a top deck heavy storm. It was really bad, man. I had like Guaiba and 3 traps in the back row, like all the good things to take out an Insector. Like I had like a Lance, a Fiendish Chain, and I think a Warning. And he just heavy storms, and then he's like Dragonfly, Pop, Centipede, go off, Sword, and just OTK'd me. I don't know if he OTK'd me, but I'm just in my head that's what happened. So it really sucked. Compulse was alright. It wasn't the best card, but it did do some good stuff. I mean, I have no complaints about it. I'm still trying to figure it out whether I want to side or main it. I know if I would have played some heroes, that would have definitely put some hurt on them, but I did not. All in all, the card's pretty good against most everything. I just wanted to be generically good against everything, but I don't know. I probably should have mained Veilers, and I don't know. There's a lot of things I should have done, could have done, would have done, but whatever. So yeah, I lost the 2 Insectors, kind of sucked. Lost round 1 and round 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I mean, it's whatever. The 7th round I played was another Insector. The 4th Insector, I beat him and he drops. So there's another like jacking up my record. The 2 people that beat me didn't top, so that's kind of irritating. Like, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so that's the main deck. It's pretty simple. I mean, it's nothing too spectacular right here. We'll go into the side deck. I decided 2 Veilers, so I figured like you're gonna need them eventually against like Insectors and stuff like that. Decided 2 Maxis for like mirror match, windups, heretics, which were there for sure. And like I sided in the Maxi against Rabbit. I usually sided in 2 Maxis and a Veiler, and like the Maxi did so much work. And like I used both Maxis, and then I got to Veiler, and it was just to hold back his Rabbit. And at that point, like he couldn't even come back. It didn't even matter. And then we had triple Snowman for like mirror match and in heroes, because Guaiba's like not very good at all against them. So usually we would just side out the Guaibas and go into Snowman Eaters. So that really helped a lot. And then again with Chalice, there were times like I didn't feel like it was that great, but it was pretty good in general. Like if you side in macro, I mean like you're gonna need something else to negate Insector's effects. So we have Forbidden Chalice for that, and again like for mirror match it's really good because like Dolka and Logia can negate in the damage step, so you really need something to stop that. Like they attack Snowman with Dolka, they go to negate, you just Chalice it, and it just works a lot better than Fiendish Chain in that sense. We had the 3rd D Prison because I knew dragons were going to be everywhere, and they were, but I mean since I lost my first game, I had to like make up for what I had lost. So I wasn't playing like the people who had won. Like usually I'm like, I don't lose till like usually round 5 or round 6. No, round 5. Usually lose round 5. So I've been playing like gradually getting better than the players. But since I lost round 1, I was like playing people who had already lost one, and it was just, I don't know. It kind of like things got skewed there, and it really sucked that the people that beat me didn't top. So they kind of screwed up my record. I don't know, whatever. I sound a little salty, but it's not that big of a deal. We got triple macro, of course. Like, I mean, that's just incredible in this deck. It worked really well against dragons. I mean, it's not the best card against dragons, but just the way it happened, it was like he did all of his stuff, set up his pulsar and whatnot. And like in phase, I macroed, summoned Rabbit, and he made this face like, shit. I have the Veiler, but I can't use it. Dropped Rabbit or sacked Rabbit, brought out 2 Kabazals, made Gemknight Pearl, and ran over Light Pulsar. Next turn, brought out Tour Guide, made Levier, brought back my Rabbit and whatever. So it's just really good. We had 2 roll decree sided for like chain burn stuff, and like even a lot of people were talking about like, oh, chain burn's here, final countdown's here, and like I never got to play a single one of them. But like if I did, I would have definitely been ready with those decrees. But that really is beside the point. Or if I'd played heroes or gravekeepers, I'd have definitely sided in decrees on them, because like those their traps get really irritating really fast, like hero blasts and all that shit they do. So anyways, there's that. So we'll go into the extra deck. It's pretty simple. I cut back Dolkas and Logias because like you should not be going into 3 a game. Like I mean it can happen, but it really shouldn't be happening. You should be using other, like you shouldn't, I don't know, your Rabbits just shouldn't be I don't know, you're not just gonna get that chance so often, like, oh, I'm gonna go triple Dolka like every single game that Dolka's good. Like, that's usually not the case. Usually you go like Logia and a Dolka, and then if you need to go one more, it's usually one or the other. It's never like you 3 of all of them and then one more. Like that just rarely happened. We had the Gemnat Pro, which like put in so much work. I think like almost every game he came out in, he won me a game. I mean, except for the first Inzektor, he had like one back row. I had Gemnite Pearl. I went Gemnite Pearl, ran over his Leviathan, and set my warning so I could stop his Inzektor play, so I could come back in phase. He Dust Tornadoes and then just summon Centipedes. So, I mean, that was the time where Gemnite Pearl didn't win, but he definitely turned the game around, and he could have won he could have won it for me if he didn't have Dust Tornado. But that's Yu-Gi-Oh. 2 Leviers, great. Need 2 Leviers for sure. Like, because I mean, with priority being on, Bottomless is a big card, and if you don't have Lance, like, you're gonna need another Levier for sure. For the rest, we got a Maestro, we got a Leviathan, Acid Golem, 1 Utopia, 1 Ray, 1 Photon Papilloperative, 1 Steel Sworn Roach for those pesky dragons, and 1 Zen Mains for protection, and then we got the 1 Badass token. In all the playtesting I did with Papilloperative, it was such a boss. That card won me so many games. Like, the games it came out on, it won, and like, it was just so good. There was never a chance where I absolutely needed it, so I never made it, which is whatever. But and same with Steel Sworn Roach. I knew it would be so good if I would have played Heretics or if I would have played Dragons. The time when I played Dragons, I didn't need that card. I needed Gemnat Pearl, and after that, I just had the nuts, so it didn't even matter. Like, the match wasn't even 10 minutes long. It was just over. I won the die roll, so I got to go first. Second game, just shit on him again. So it was just like real. I don't know. It was whatever. So that's pretty much like the deck profile right there. The extra deck is definitely really good. I'm still trying to figure out the main deck right now. It's the whole Veiler thing. Like, I don't really like Veiler all that much. I don't want to run 3 like everyone else is. I want to just run 2 because I just hate, like, it's just always a minus. Like, it doesn't destroy the card. The card just sits there. It's like subpar against Rabbit. It's alright against Inzektors. I mean, they still get to do it the next turn if the monster's still there. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't like that card as much as like a lot of people are hyping it up. It's good. It's not great. So I don't know. That's pretty much it though. Like I said, I really feel like this deck is just so strong. It has so many options. I mean, it's definitely not autopilot. It's not auto win for sure. That's true. Because I mean, I lost to Inzektors, and I'm supposed to have like a really good matchup against them. I mean, like, the Heavy Storm really turned his game around. I mean, I just shit on him game 1. Game 2, like, he barely scraped it. And then that game 3, that Heavy Storm was just like, really Heavy Storm, you're going to do that to me? It was just like so good. There's just no way I could come back. So anyways, that's totally beside the point. So I got the invite for the 3rd time in a row, which felt really good. I topped San Diego, then I topped Los Angeles, and now I topped Anaheim. I'm really happy. Unfortunately, I probably won't be going to Nationals because it's very expensive, and Ohio is so far away. Like, I have no way of getting out there. Like, it's just too much. So hopefully I can try and get one of those mats somehow, because I totally earned that thing. So try and get one of those for you guys. You can see it or whatever. Anyways, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This will be the last time I'll put up a Rabbit deck profile. I've posted one prior to turn player, priority on ignition effects, and now I got it post. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys found this useful. Hopefully, if you guys play this deck, you can use some of the things I said into consideration and do well at the next event you go to. So that's it for now. Thank you all for watching. Comment, rate, sub, and doom out.